Hey guys, Rachel here, founder of Skill Builders blog, where my goal is to help you create the programs that parents want to buy. So, we're talking about words that sell, words that really speak to that customer so that it just really prompts them to make a buying decision right away. But the first step of that process is identifying who it is that you are selling to so that you can use the right words. Okay. And so that's what we're going to jump in today. We're going to talk about surveys, not a customer satisfaction survey, but the kind of survey that you would do to create the right product. I mean, making money is easy, right? Like all you have to do is ask people what they want to buy and then sell it to them. So if it's so easy, why is it so hard? Good question. It's because we miss that target. We use words that sound really good to us because we've like been in this industry for decades, since we were kids. And those types of words don't connect to people who do not have that history, that depth of knowledge that we do. So let's get started. I'm going to do a share screen and I'm going to be showing you a survey that I am in the process of creating right now, basically. So this survey is for a gym that is wanting to expand that after school summer camp. All of those drop-off events, they kind of fall into a different category than gymnastics instruction, dance instruction. It actually targets a different population. So, like if you've got a team gymnastics program, you're going to attract that, I don't know what, 3, 5, maybe up to 10% of kids who are like true blue gymnastics fans. But the thing is, you're running a business. So you want multiple streams of revenue, and you also want an after school program. You want your summer camps to be full so that you stay in the black through the summer as well. So let's talk about the creation of this and why I am doing this form the way I am. So I'm sharing with you the exact process of creating this form. And the thing about people is that it's really hard to ask them what they want. Like sometimes they don't, or maybe I should say a lot of the time, we don't know what we want until we see it and feel it and experience. But the one thing that we can be sure of is that we know what we don't want, don't we? I mean, can't we all immediately be like, whoa, that's not it. Nope, next, moving on. So that's the cool thing, is that we just have to make our questions so that we're really taking into account what they don't want just as much as what they think that they do want, because they're going to miss the mark on that. Trust me, they really are. So let's keep moving. First of all, I like to say I need to give some props to Ryan Levesque. He is the creator of the Ask method. And I actually I was trying to find some free content from him so that you guys could get a taste and see with what he has done. He's the author of the Ask method. He's kind of an expert at surveying and creating new products and finding that niche market that is very profitable. He has this huge history with doing that. He's a very good teacher, and he's awesome. I have actually gone through some training of his because I have access to some paid training that was done in like a mastermind type digital marketing group. I could not find any really good free training from him that was like available just, on the fly for, anybody to go click on. But I'm going to keep looking for that. So I'm going to try to find that, because I think that you guys should experience Ryan Levesque because he is so good at this. Anyway, let's keep moving. So in this particular form, it is in the process of being created. I have not branded it yet. I'm getting the meat and potatoes, the nuts and bolts, and all the cliches. I'm getting that done first. And then I will go on to branding it, of course, to, stay in line with that idea of people seeing it and knowing where it comes from. All right, so let's talk about the top of the form. XYZ Gym is ready to solve your parenting problems. Help us help you by telling us how we can create the high quality drop off opportunities that you need and children want. So right off the bat, I want to let the parents know that there is a benefit to them for filling this out. And I'm going to go on to say, plus get a $7 off special event clinic tuition. just for taking a minute to complete this survey. Guys, people do not complete surveys out of the goodness of their heart. We're all too busy. So you've really got to show them that there's something in it for them. And what's really cool is you can choose an incentive that also kind of advertises another thing that you want to fill up more of. You want to show off something new that you're doing. So do a little discount code for that, and you can, like two birds, one stone, right? So you also want to make sure that they know that you want their honest, detailed feedback. Now, with all of these online forms, there's Google Forms, you can do Woofu. What else is there? SurveyMonkey, Jot Forms, Constant Contact has its own form. I bet a lot of the other email providers have their own survey and forms set up so that it's all integrated. Guys, they all have basically the same tools involved. And I wanted to point out, like I mentioned here, your answers to the questions below will be anonymous. I think that that's important for gyms and studios because you don't want those customers that, love you, and they know you, they see you, they bump into you at the grocery store. They don't want to insult you. Well, I don't want people to tiptoe around my feelings. Like, throw it at me. I want your honest, detailed opinion. You cannot hurt my feelings. I just want to know what you think, or else the survey is of no value to me. So I encourage everyone to point out that the answers are going to be anonymous. Now, in reality, are you going to, if you did a little work with the data that comes up, or can you attach that email to the answers and figure out who did what survey? Absolutely. Yes, you can. Let's all be honest. You can do that. However, I would expect people in this industry to have some real ethics and honesty. So if you say that these answers are going to be viewed anonymously, view them anonymously, okay? Look at them as a group of answers, and do not start saying, ooh, well, this person is the 10th respondent, and so this person matches up here. Don't do all that, guys. Let your customers answer anonymously so that you can get some real honest feedback, and they can just really just pour their heart out and not worry about whether or not it's going to offend you or your staff or, anybody else. So that's what we're going to do in the introduction. We are going to immediately let the person reading this know that there is an incentive. We appreciate you doing it. And then let's talk about this first question. Now, this is not a customer satisfaction survey, so I don't have a lot of checkoffs and multiple choice and that sort of thing. And here's why. For product creation, when you are trying to reinvent or relaunch a program, maybe make a brand new program, you want to know the words that your customers use. You don't want to put words in their mouth. So I can make different phrases for them to choose from for things that they think are problems or things that they think of as important, but then it's in my words. And so the real value of using this in your marketing later on is, whatever they call it, you're repeating it back to them. So we all say, back handspring, and we know what we're talking about, but that's not what most layperson parents call it. They call it a backflip. So if you're using the word back handspring and they're using the word backflip, you've got a communication problem there. They're not going to feel like you're one of them. And so that's why I like that open-ended. Is it more work to go through all of these? Absolutely 100%. But is it going through all of these individual responses so that you prevent investing in a program that nobody wants? Isn't that worth it? I think that is so, so worth it. So do the open-ended, get that information, and then go from there. So by Ryan Levesque's recommendation, and I started using this probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I love it. I mean, he was so on target with this, but make sure that that first most important question is, asking about a challenge. So in this particular example, when it comes to after school or school break care for your children, What is the single biggest challenge, frustration, or problem that you struggle with? And again, please be as specific and descriptive as possible. Because, like I mentioned earlier, people have trouble knowing what they want, but they sure do know what they don't want. And here's the thing, you can offer the best program possible. You can be like creating like motor learning athlete ninjas who are future Olympians, and you could like really be that good. And if the parents don't have transportation there, and if they can't pick up their kids up when they're not at work, then it's not going to work. Like, you can be the best of the best of the best of the best, but if you're not solving that parent's main challenge, that main problem, then I mean, you can forget it. So that's why, in my opinion, that is a super, super important question. And then also, too, how much time and money have you invested in finding that perfect after school or school break option? And let me tell you why I like this question, because um, if somebody is filling out this survey and they're really not interested in this, and they don't really have a problem in this area, because people are going to get a hold of that QR code. I mean, you really do want to push this out to your community, this survey, this link, and get as many responses as possible. But let's say you've got a group of 100 parents that have literally spent 15 hours and $600 trying different programs and trying to solve their problem. Who's going to be the most likely to invest in what you have coming up? People who are really, truly like hyper focused on finding that solution? Or do you think it's the person who has spent 10 minutes so far? So, you might have 100 parents that are more of a high value response than this 100 over here. This 100 over here wanted to get the half off coupon code, right? And so that, to me, is really going to help you separate it out into your most valuable responses here. All right, so moving on to the next question. What most important benefit led you to choose your current solution, whatever that solution is? Sitter, grandparents, after school program, daycare, etc. So in this particular example, you want to know what is that most important benefit that led them to make a buying decision. And that doesn't mean that their buying decision was with you, again, because in this purpose, we're casting a wide net. We don't want just people who have been to our facility. We're looking at everybody in an 8 to 10 mile radius, and we want to bring them in to create a program that really drives this new enrollment, this new revenue source. So whatever they're doing right now, what's the most important benefit that led them to make that decision? There are 100 reasons for them to come to your gym. I mean, we're talking about physical activity, no screen time, trained instructors. It's convenient. It's right down the road. You have the best equipment in the world. Your kids are super happy. They have confidence. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Balance, strength, flexibility. There are at least 100 benefits. But what benefit led that parent to make the particular purchasing decision that they have made already? I mean, that's not somebody imagining what they're going to buy. That is somebody who has made a purchase decision, and now they are reflecting on that, and they're like, you know what? I needed the time schedule. I needed somebody that let me wait until 6 o'clock to pick my kid up, because I don't get off till 5:30. And by the time I get there, so the places that closed at 5:30, I couldn't go there. So ask what that most important benefit led them to choose their current solution. Now, the next question, if you could point out one frustration with your current after school break care provider, what would it be? Very important question. Again, this all goes back to people have trouble saying what they want, but man, we all know what we don't want, right? So if there's one particular frustration, something that you can do better, that frustration might be with your current program. They might be already enrolled with you. So it might be that you need to fix something. It may be that there's somebody else, they're choosing another option and they have a major problem with that option. There's a major flaw or weak point with that other option. And so it's important to know what that is. And you're going to be surprised at what it is. Guys, my dog is snoring at my feet. He's dreaming. He's going to start barking. Here he comes. Okay. Oh, this is embarrassing. All right, so I'm getting audio bombed by my dog who's having a dream. Okay, back. Sorry, guys. Emmett, wake up. Wake up, Emmett. You're dreaming. Okay, we're all good. All right, Emmett I had to wake him up because it was about to get crazy. There's no telling what he was chasing. All right, back to focus. I kicked all my kids out of the room and put them in a different level of the house so I wouldn't get disrupted. And then like my dog is like chasing things in his dreams. All right, so now this is just a data point. What is the age of the children that you need to drop off care for? Check all that apply. That's just a very industry specific data point that you really need to know. And you may also find out, guys, that the 7 to 10-year-olds are taken care of. So you might find out, you might be like, whoa, wait a minute, 3 to 4-year-olds? Okay, now that's a little daunting, right? But it's doable in a gym situation, whereas most daycares start at 6 years old or 5 years old, or whatever, like that type of after school program, or summer camp programs. Most summer camps do not, unless it's a daycare, they usually do not start at less than 6 or less than 5 years old. And that might be a whole low-hanging fruit niche market that you can reach there and grab and run with. Because, and I'll point this out, if you get the 3 to 4-year-olds, say in a summer camp, even the Vacation Bible School only starts at age 5, now the parents have their 3-year-old coming to you. Are they also going to do your 7-year-olds? So maybe you do 3 to 7-year-olds. So that's simply a data point that you need to know. That's all that question is. That's not a very deep question. All right. And then before you go, so before completing the survey, please read this important information about your coupon code. So remember, we have incentivized them. We are promising them that they are going to get a reward for filling this out, right? So that particular question there, it's very simple. Just make sure that you go ahead and at the time that people submit it, make sure that you go ahead and show them, tell them the fine print related to that. I love to do discounts, but I can't stand it. I mean, it just drives me bonkers when you do like a special discount or coupon and then people come back mad at you because it expired or it was for something that their child can't really do because of age. And I have found that when you do that, when you do those special offers and codes, I absolutely love them, but you've got to do some preventative work right there. You've got to get in there and put all of the fine print there so that every time they see that, they see the code, they see the offer with all of the fine print. I mean, guys, there's just so much information coming in our inboxes with DMs and emails and social media pop-ups and comments. And there's just so much information out there that none of us can digest it all. And parents are always distracted, right? So every time I offer any kind of a special, always put all of the stipulations right there with it. Don't say, hey, you're going to get this, and then don't on the same page have all of the fine print along with it, because you don't want something positive to turn into something negative, and you definitely don't have time for all of the stuff, right? So make sure you do that. And then also at the end of it, be sure to ask for that email address and let people know that they're providing their email address for the sole purpose of you being able to come back and send them that code that you have promised them. I like to say like up to 10 business days and do the email at the end. Like if I'm going to run this for 10 days, I'm going to collect all the emails and I'm going to send out one email. You know, I don't want to send out 20 emails here and 20 emails there. I want to do 500 emails at one time, right? So I want to wait until it's all over and then do that, unless you have a way to automate that code so that, and it depends on what form you're using, what provider, but you may have a way to automate that code. I love to automate, like if you have that option, but if you're using some of the free service providers, you may not. So you can either have it where you automate that code to them, or you can set it up to where you make it easy for yourself, where at the end of that 10 days, you copy paste those emails into your email service provider and you send out one bulk email. So either way, it's super easy. All right, let me see. I'm going to check my notes, make sure there's not anything else about this survey that I wanted to mention before I hop off. And let's see, don't make them too long, guys. Don't make your surveys too long, because people will just get to where they don't care and the value of your answers drops down really far. Also, spread it far and wide, and we will talk in the Facebook group about different ways. We'll kind of brainstorm some different ways to really push that out into your community so that you can get a really wide breadth or net. You can catch a wide net and get lots of responses. All right, guys, you know, I love you. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube. Where else? I'm on Insta. I'm on Facebook. We got a Facebook group. And then you can email me, Rachel at Skill Builders. Builders is plural. skillbuildersblog.com. All right. Love you guys. Thanks so much.